It's been 12 weeks since I chopped off a huge chunk of my hair, and I had to start over my hair journey to grow my hair back in a much healthier state. So I stopped doing quite a few things that are probably contradictive to what I was talking about in my earlier videos. Okay. When it comes to my hair, I have very dry, 4C hair that most people love to brag about how hard it is to take care of. And it is hard if you don't know what products to use. And one of the things that I started doing was going back to using black hair products and hair products focused and formulated specifically for Afro textured hair. So that means I use hair products like, I use Mazani, but other hair products that are formulated for Afro textured hair like mine is Cara Care, Design Essentials, and Dudley, which I don't use. I never use Dudley, but there are women who use it, and they haven't said anything was crazy about it. The other thing that I started doing was that instead of washing my hair multiple times a week, because it's very drying to my type of hair texture, I have very much fine strands, and so the diameter of my hair strands are very small compared to somebody else with type 4 hair, and their hair strands are thicker. So I'm basically drying up my hair the more I wash it, which is unfortunate. And then I was washing it with shampoo that was formulated for oilier, straighter, flatter hair. So that was making it 10 times worse. It's like having eczema and you're using face wash formulated for extremely oily skin. That's the worst thing you can do for your skin if you have extremely dry skin like eczema. That's the last thing you want to do. So that was kind of like what I was doing to my hair. That's why I wasn't having much success with it. So I ended up washing my hair once a week with Mazani hair products. Now, I primarily use Mazani. Mazani, I want to say, makes up, I want to say 90+% of my hair products that I use, from the shampoos, the deep conditioners, and the leave-in conditioner, and some of the styling products like the mousse, and I think even like the edge control. But anyways, okay. There are other products that I use too, and that is the Moroccan Oil Light, Olaplex for bond repair, and then what else? I make my own little oil formulation, which is jojoba oil formulated with a few drops of essential oil like rosemary and peppermint. So when it comes to my hair routine, because let me tell you something, when I went for my hair trim, which I get every 12 weeks. That's what I told myself. Get 4 trims in a year and leave it at that, to keep my ends healthy. My hairstylist did not, it was an option for her to trim my ends. And she asked me if I wanted to, and I told her, I said I wanted to because I won't see you for another 12 weeks, which means that puts me at 24 weeks without a trim. So I was like, no, don't do that. Go ahead and just trim, lightly dust my ends to make sure everything is even, and I'm not walking out here 12 weeks without a trim. Walking around for another 12 weeks without a trim. So my hair routine has adjusted to where these are the things that I do. So I wash my hair once a week with a moisturizing shampoo from Mazani. Then I moisturize. I do a deep conditioning with the Mazani Intensive Deep Conditioner. And I sit under a heated hooded dryer for 20 to 25 minutes. I kind of max it out at 25 minutes. And then I detangle. And after I detangle, I rinse it out. Then I add my leave-in conditioner, which is my Mazani Moisture or Milk, Miracle Milk 25, along with my serum. So I will show you the serum that I use. So this is the Moroccan Oil Light Serum. So I apply these 2 products to my hair while it's still wet. And then I go through with the Rev Air blow dryer to gently stretch my hair. I don't stretch it on high. I stretch it on the 1 setting because I feel like the number 2 setting is too high for my hair type. I stretch it with that, and then I go ahead and I style. That can be twist outs, that can be flat twists, that can be flexi rods, whatever I'm going to do. That can even be wand curls. But I always use these 2 products. And then that's my wash day. One thing I forgot to mention on my wash day is that before I even wash my hair, I do an aloe vera pre-poo. The purpose for my pre-poo is to remove all of the shed hair from my hair that has fallen and just hasn't fallen out of my head yet, right? And that's going to prevent knots and tangles once I wash my hair. So I want to remove that. One of the things that I like to do is that those 2 products when I pre-poo is that I use my unbrushed hairbrush. You'd be amazed how little hair comes out when you use this brush. I have used all other types of brushes that have taken a hold of trends in the natural hair community, and this is the only brush that actually detangles my hair without pulling out any hair. It only removes the shed hair, which I love. So I do that once a week. And the aloe vera that I get is actually from the plant out of the grocery store. So I don't buy a jug of aloe vera. You can if you want to, but I like the slip that the plant actually provides. So I'll spray the section of my hair with water. Then I will apply the aloe vera gel, and then I'll go through and lightly detangle that section with this unbrush. Removes a bunch of shed hair. So once my hair, I've pre-pooed, I washed, I deep conditioned, I put in my leave-in conditioner and my serum. I stretch my hair. I pretty much am done for the day because I'm not going to style it until I leave out the house, which is probably the next day or 2 days since it's the weekend. So for the remainder of the week, which is 6 days left in the week before I wash again, I always moisturize my hair twice a day. And as I say, if you want clear skin, you have to wash your face twice a day. If you want clear or clean, healthy teeth or oral health, you have to brush your teeth twice a day, right? And if you want moisturized hair, particularly for those with dry hair like mine, you have to moisturize your hair twice a day. So in the morning, I use 1 pump of this serum. I don't use 2, I don't use 3 because that's too much, because remember, I'm doing this daily for 6 days, okay? So it's 1 pump of this serum, and I distribute that over my hair strands, and I focus on the ends. The reason I focus on the ends is that I don't want my hair to dry out from being exposed to the elements when I'm outside and at work. You don't know the humidity conditions of your workplace or your school. It could be very drying in those corporate offices. And what I like to do is actually protect the moisture of my hair strands with the serum. Because at night, my second moisture routine is leave-in conditioner, which I do this 4 to 5 times a week, some water, and a few drops of jojoba oil that I made myself. I just pour some in this jar. Add, I want to say about 3 to 6 drops of 2 essential oils, which is rosemary and peppermint. And I mix it up. I shake it up like that. And then I apply a few drops of this to my hair every night. And I make sure I get it on my hair strands. Now, 2 nights out of the week, I will add a little bit to my scalp throughout to make sure my scalp is not dry. The next thing that I want to mention is that when you deep condition or when you wash your hair, what I do, which has prevented my hair from being excessively dry, is that I use a hooded hair dryer now. I no longer just put the conditioner on, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then rinse. That's not for my hair type. It may not be for yours, it may be, but if you have a dry 4C hair type like mine, the best choice is to use a hooded hair dryer to heat your hair. Now, my hairstylist and my buddy that formulates hair products says, look, you have to heat your hair up to, the dryer has to be 120 degrees. And that type of heat that's applied to your hair is actually going to make your cuticle very much flexible, and it's going to allow the low molecular ingredients that are formulated in the conditioner to penetrate your hair shaft. So your hair strands. So that helps out to condition, soften, and give your hair shine and sheen. Just slap in hair conditioner that's really not formulated for your hair type and letting it just sit on there while it's cold, and not heating it up. Your hair's still going to be dry. So you have to deep condition your hair if you want to soften and condition your hair. And the other important thing, as I mentioned earlier, is that I'm always conditioning my hair. Except in the morning, I'm sealing it to make sure that the moisture does not, my hair is protected. But at night, I'm adding either a water-based conditioner, I'm adding either a moisture source, or I'm adding an oil-based conditioner. I'm always conditioning my hair. And that helps out a lot to retain length. Let's see, is there anything else that I could think of? Oh, I don't use a bunch of tools anymore. I use this unbrush to detangle my hair. Mind you, I only comb my hair once a week. So yes, I moisturize my hair in the morning, I style it, but I use my fingers to style my hair. I don't use combs or brushes. And at night, I moisturize and condition my hair and pin it up, only using my fingers or like some rollers or something like that. But I don't comb my hair several times out the week, absolutely not. So it's just my unbrush here. I have a wide tooth comb. I have another wide tooth comb kind of with a rat tail end so I can use it for parting. And then I always have a very soft boar bristle hairbrush, okay? I don't use this stuff anymore with these edge control, these hard bristle brushes, because that can honestly take your hair out. So I use a very soft brush when I brush and I style my hair, and I make sure that my combs are wide tooth. My hairstylist didn't report anything back saying, oh, your hair is like kind of damaged and we need to do this, we need to do that. She did say that it was much more moisturized than the last time I came to her. But I do know that the temperature on my hooded hair dryer needs to be cranked up a little bit more because it's not as hot as it should be for deep conditioning. So I'm going to work on that for the next 12 weeks, and then see what she says when I go back for the other trim. But the beautiful part is that she did not have to trim my hair, right? So when I look back at the pictures, is my hair still in a bob? Of course it is, because it's only been 12 weeks since it was cut. So it's not going to go from being up here to being down here within 3 months. Absolutely not. But it has grown. And I know that because for a lot of my hairstyles, I do low tension hairstyles, which means that a lot of my hairstyles are flat twists. Either I part it down the middle and I do a flat twist to the back, or I part it down the middle, I do pin and tucks in the back, and I do like a 2-strand or twist out in the front, or I do like wand curls or something like that, either in the front or all over my head. But there's never a time that I have high tension hairstyles. The other thing that I want to mention is that every time I use heat on my hair, and I mean heat from the wand curler or from the flat iron, I always use Olaplex. You can use K18 treatment. I don't buy K18. I don't have any experience with it, but I do know it should do the same thing as Olaplex. So I use Olaplex number 3 after every single, the wash after I use some type of heat on my hair, flat iron or wand curler. The purpose for that is that heat styling breaks bonds in the hair. And we know this because heat denatures protein. So in order to repair those bonds, I use a bond repair for the next time. Also, I don't heat style my hair often, right? So out of 12 weeks, I may heat style my hair like 2, maybe 3 times, maximum 3. It's never like every single week that I wash my hair. I find the most I do with heat is deep conditioning and blow drying to stretch, and that's using a Rev Air. But if you're going to use some type of heat where you're heating up to 300, 400 degrees. Some people even heating up even more. You want to use a bond repair for the next wash. The other thing is that my heat styling tools, like my curling irons, my press and comb, never go over 385. So I'm not one of those girlies that's like, oh, I got to crank my stuff up to 450. I never have cranked myself up to 450. The reason why my hair was honestly breaking off is because I was using products formulated for greasy, flat hair. And it was drying out my already dry hair. And it was like a little dried out leaf. It was just breaking off at the ends. It was absolutely hideous. So the only problem I had to fix was changing my products that actually are formulated for my hair type and deep conditioning. But my routine, like my gentleness with my hair, did not change. That's one reason why she didn't have to trim off so much hair. She asked me if I wanted to trim, and I told her, I said, go ahead and give me a trim, because I want to make sure that I'm not running around here for some months without it being properly trimmed. I don't want to go half a year without properly being trimmed. But yeah, that's most of the technique that I've been using. If I think of anything else, I will update or make another video, and then see where we go from there. So I'm hoping that with me monitoring the temperature of my water that I use to shampoo and rinse out the conditioner in my hair, and I want to say do the deep conditioning, that it either adds value to my hair or it doesn't change. But other than that, those are the techniques that I use. And if you want to try it out, you're more than welcome to. And if you have any comments, leave them below. Talk to you later.